Hello, I'm Pam Fox at pamfox.org. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. So, yesterday was my last day at my job of 15 years, and today is my first day of new and exciting things. And I've just been really wanting to share a little bit more personal things with you about kind of how I got to where I am today in terms of, being able to quit my full-time job, how I was able to do that, and just kind of some of the exercises that I've done over the years that helped me create an exit strategy from that full-time job. It was about this time last year that I knew that my time was coming to an end at my full-time job. I love my job. I've been there for 15 years. I get a lot of satisfaction out of it, but I just knew that my time was coming to an end because I was doing a lot of other things. I was discovering other passions in my life, and I was just, I was spread too thin, and so I knew I wasn't fully present there, and I really felt like that particular job, I was an activity director for an assisted living, and it's just a very special and important job, and they deserve someone that's going to be 100% there for them. And so I knew my time was coming to the end. It was very clear, and so I started to create an exit strategy, and I just really feel like I want to share some of the exercises, some of the things I did over this last year, some of the things I learned and discovered that helped me, that enabled me to do that. And so the first thing I'm going to share in today's video, and then I think I'll do maybe a series of 2 or 3 more videos. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5, but hey, Paul. But in today's video, I'm going to share an exercise that I actually did a really long time ago, probably 15 years ago, and it really, really stuck with me and was really profound. Sometimes you get inspired by something and then you kind of walk away from it and it kind of fizzles out and you forget about it, but it kind of sticks with you. Well, this was something that really stuck with me, and I'm going to share it with you today, and maybe you can do this exercise and it can be the beginning for you to discover if you need to create more balance in your life. And so as a holistic health coach, this is something that I emphasize. It's a top priority with my clients. What does the balance in your life look like? And we hear this all of our lives, right? We hear that we need to create balance. We need more balance. You must learn balance. Karate Kid. And so what does that mean? And I think for me, for a long time, I would hear that. I wasn't quite sure what that meant. But basically, it's really considering your health being affected by all of the different components of your life. So your career will affect your health. Your physical activity level will affect your health. The food that you eat will affect your health. Your spirituality will affect your health. Your relationships and the quality of your relationships will affect your health. Your family unit, the ability that you have to create yourself, to express yourself creatively. So all of these things are going to affect your health more so than any of us probably realize. How are you managing your stress? Are you making sleep a priority? It's very holistic. It's whole. It's many things that contribute to your health. And so that's where the balance is. All those things I just mentioned, do you have a balance? And it doesn't mean you have to spend and dedicate the exact amount of time and energy on each and every one of those things. But you can definitely do some exercises that will help you take a look at your life and discover where the imbalances are. And that will help you to begin to nourish those areas, make those areas more of a priority, figure out how you're going to create more balance by nourishing those areas in your life. Okay? It's this first exercise, for what it did for me was it really showed me, one, that we all have the same amount of time, right? So we often make the excuse, I just can't find the time to do. I know I need to do this. I really would like to do that. I'd like to spend more time with my spouse, whatever it is. I just can't seem to find the time. Exercise, that's a big one. You hear people say, I just can't find the time to fit in the exercise. Well, we all have 24 hours in a day, right? So that's the great equalizer. We all have 24 hours in a day. And so it's how we budget that time. And so this exercise today it's a time budgeting exercise. And I've got mine here. I just tried to remember the one that I did many years ago. I did this like 15 years ago. So this is a time budget that I did based on my life several years ago when I began to really discover that I needed to create more balance in my life. Okay, so here it is. This is the whiteboard. So remember, I'm streaming live, so everything is backwards. So you can just ignore all these words; they don't make sense. But this is what you want to take a look at, right through here. Hey, Sam. So this is my time budget. So this first big block right here, and this is a week. This is a week long. So what we want to do is take a piece of paper and draw out your 7 days. So this is 1 week, and 1 week has 168 hours. So this first block, I can't read my writing backwards, is my sleep. So back then I was probably sleeping about 6 hours a night. I was going to bed probably around midnight, getting up at 6. So that first big block is my sleep. So I've increased this. I now try to get in 8 to 9 hours of sleep currently. I try to make that a priority, and I've been doing that now for about 4 years. The next one is work. So I work a 40-hour work week. And then all of these little guys here are just broken down into the way I was spending my time. So errands, maybe 1 or 2 hours a day on errands. Kids, I had kids, well I still have kids, but I was heavily involved in their lives at that time. So things like soccer practice and drum lessons and concerts and you know, all of that kind of thing. Doctor's appointments, dentist appointments. You guys with kids know what I'm talking about. My commute, I was commuting an hour a day, so that's 7 hours out of my week. Housework, you know, if you're shopping, if you're cooking, if you're cleaning, doing laundry, that all adds up. So I put down 14 hours a week for that. And then this big chunk right here, I hate to admit it, but this big chunk right here is actually TV. So I used to watch a lot of TV. It was not uncommon for me to turn the TV on when I got in bed at night at 9 o'clock and watch it till midnight. So, you know, 3-4 hours a day of television. And then this final one, this little tiny purple one right here is just, you know, the amount of time we spend just getting ready. So showering and hair and makeup and getting dressed and all of that. So you budget all of that in. And I just want to mention this tiny little black line right here. It says church. So out of 168 hours in a week, I was spending 1 hour at church. And to me, my faith, my spiritual life, my faith walk it should be a top priority. And I was only spending, you know, 1 to 2 hours nurturing my spirit out of a 168-hour week. So I really was able to see from this time budget exercise, this imbalance, okay? And so then, you know, once you do this exercise, then, you know, where do you go from there? Well, this is what I want to share over the course of the next week. I want to share some other great, really beneficial exercises that I did to help me take this clarity and this realization that I had a huge imbalance in my life and begin to take strides and action steps towards creating new balance. And so today, here I am starting this new season in my life. And again, about this time last year, I was really beginning to work on my mission statement. So what do I want to do with my life? And I spent a lot of time on this. I started kind of writing down some ideas on where my passions were and what I wanted to do with my life's work, what was most important to me. And then I really just contemplated a lot and came back to it really frequently and made up changes until I got to the point when I read that mission statement, it was just like, I could just feel it in my bones. It was like, yes, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is who I was created to be. This is my destiny. Like really deep stuff. And basically what I came up with is I want to be a healer. I want to help people heal, but not just help people heal. I want to help people heal in effective ways and naturally, in natural ways, because I believe that we each have this wonderful, beautiful, mysterious, miraculous immune system that's built within us, and its job is to repair and to heal. And a lot of times we think that that system is broken, especially if we have autoimmune disease. But I no longer believe that our immune system is broken when we have autoimmune disease. It's just very overworked and overloaded. And so if we begin to create this balance in our life where, you know, instead of dedicating so much time to work, and if you want to dedicate a lot of time to work and that's you know, that's feeding your soul and feeding, like for me, time spent at work was, this was something I was able to discover working with my health coach. I was able to discover that I felt I needed to dedicate more time to my social life because I had a zero social life. But on further contemplation, I realized that my work as an activity director incorporated a lot of social life, and therefore that's why I didn't really feel any hunger in that area of my life, because it was really fulfilled because all of my friends were at work, my co-workers and my residents. That was my social life. And so so just because you have an imbalance doesn't necessarily mean, you know, you have to make those changes in that area. But when you stop and take time to really discover where your passions lie and really clearly identify that, then you will begin to really want to work towards that. You'll want to really start to make those action steps towards exactly where your passions lie. And so this is just a really great first step. So I want to encourage you, if you are at a point in your life where you know, and this resonates with you, and you're like, yes, I need to create more balance in my life because I'm just not happy. If you're angry a lot of the time, if you're irritable a lot of the time, if you're tired and depressed a lot of the time, then maybe one of the things that you need to do is to create more balance in your life. And that's one of those things that's like, you know, the saying, it's easier said than done. And I totally get that. I totally get that. I mean, it's not a change that you can make overnight. Again, this is something that I started creating an exit strategy from my job a year ago. So, so it does take time. And what I want to remind you of is where you're at right now, in your life, whether you're happy with your life or not, kind of happy, kind of not happy. It took you time. It took you time to get right where you are today. So if you're wanting to create a new life for yourself, that's going to take time too. It's going to take time, and it's going to take an effort on your part to begin to understand yourself. That's the first step, is to understand yourself. Understand where those imbalances are. Understand where your passions lie. Okay, get a really clear understanding of that. So that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about this week. Again, this will be the first exercise, and I'm going to share some of the exercises that I've just done over the course of this last year. And maybe some of you will find that helpful. Maybe you're at a place in your life, kind of like I was, where I knew I needed to create more balance in my life. I wanted to create more financial freedom. I wanted to create more unity within my family unit. I wanted to spend more time with my parents, spend more time with my siblings, spend more time with my children. I wanted to spend more time outside, okay? And so when you look at this budget, there's just no time left over for that. You know, all of my time has been taken up with other things. And so then you have to figure out, where can I cut back? Where can I multitask? So for me, my commute, I started listening to books on tape during my commute. That was one way I could multitask. I started watching educational videos on the treadmill while I worked out. That was another way to multitask, so that you're doing two things at once during that time period. All right, so more on that to come. I hope that you guys find this helpful. As always, you can leave your comments and questions in the box below, and I would be happy to get to those. I prefer that you do that in the comments as opposed to private messaging me. And I thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm going to go outside and enjoy the weather, and then I'm getting together with my sister and some friends tonight, so I'll look forward to that as well. So thank you for watching, and until next time.